Hello everybody, Kelly Rice here, but I write under my pen name K.M. Rice. And today, first off, I would like to apologize for the fact that I have not uploaded in a long time. It's been a very busy summer, so this is one of the reasons why I usually ask for people to subscribe to my channel if they want to be notified when I post my videos, because I don't post on a regular basis. And I'm telling you that now at the beginning so that you can get it out of the way if you want to. To be clear, I absolutely hate it when YouTubers do the whole call to action thing. If I push play on a video and it's someone being like, oh my god, hi, subscribe. See, I can't even say it, subscribe. That's why I can't even say it. I stopped watching. It's so annoying. So I'm not saying this to annoy you, I promise. Though that imitation was probably really annoying. I say it just to remind you that I am an erratic creative, and to follow my madness, you kind of have to be on some sort of list to get heads ups. Were those both supposed to be plural? I think so. So today's question is from Alice Penn, and Alice asks several questions actually, but they're all in the same vein. How do Boy, I can't speak today. Starting over. How do non-writers react to your telling them that you write? Do reactions vary by gender or age? Do you kind of know how some people will respond before you answer? Who do you prefer to break the news to? A writer, a reader, or neither? I love that question because that's a really fun question. Because I have been a writer. Well, okay, forget the fact that I wrote my first book in kindergarten, so technically I've been a writer for my whole life, a storyteller at least. Almost my whole life. I don't think I was writing in the womb. Though I do have weird memories of moments before I was born. My brother used to say I poked a hole in my mom's stomach and spied on him, and that's why I knew. Creepy. So anyway, the fact that, well, let me put it this way. People's reactions to me telling them that I'm a writer usually has more to do, I've learned now, with the way that I say it and the way that I present myself. Because when I first started off and I only had Darkling under my belt, and that was kind of all I had to show. I had my degree and one book that I'd self-published, and it was doing, it was making the rounds, but it wasn't a phenomenal success by any means. I kind of, you kind of feel like, yeah, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. And then I feel like people sense that vulnerability that most of us writers have, and they kind of jump on it. So back then, when I used to say, I'd be at a wedding or whatever, and people would be like, so what do you do for a living? I'd say I'm a writer. Well, I'm not making a living at it, but I'm a writer. That's what I am. The reaction is usually, oh wow! And then it would always delve into this bizarre territory that I hated to navigate, of someone saying, you and I really need to get coffee sometime, because I have this fantastic idea for a book. I just don't have the time to write it. But you could do it for me. Maybe it's something you could use. If some of you watching have ever done this to a writer, I hope you haven't. But if you have, I hope that you reconsider before next time you do that. First off, it's really strange to meet someone and ask what they do and have your immediate response, without knowing anything about the person or their life or anything like that, say, let me tell you how to do your job, or let me help you do your job. Can you think of other contexts where that's applicable? I'm a builder. Oh my god, I have this great new idea for how to build archways in homes. It's cool, good for you, go do it. What am I supposed to do with that information? And it's really weird because, not really weird, but most of the time when people want to do this and pitch at you, it's never to you, it's at you, their ideas are pretty bad, and you just have to sit there and be polite and listen to them talk, and you're like, and you haven't written this yourself because a part of you knows it's bad. So I always encourage people to write their own stories just because I feel like no one in the world is going to tell it like you, and you have your own voice, and if you have a story in you, you need to tell it. And that's just kind of a general rule. But especially in these situations, I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of my own stories. I don't actually, tell other people's stories unless they pay me a significant amount. And that always throws these people off, because the people who are like, I'm gonna do you a favor, honey, and I'm gonna give you the best plot you've ever had, and it's usually only 2 sentences, which is just the setup, and then I have nothing else, because I actually don't understand anything that goes into the creative process or storytelling, but pay you for it. Pay you? I'm giving you a gift. You should be thanking me. That kind of attitude is always nasty to deal with, and I know a lot of creatives have to deal with it. So, again though, in a situation like at a wedding where someone starts pitching at me, I'm not gonna immediately say, listen, I don't want to hear this shit unless you're paying me. I wish I did. I don't have that personality type. I've been told that I need to be a little bit more like that in person, but I just can't do it. I'm a peacekeeper, and when you're in that situation, it's just, you have to be polite and observe all the rules of society, and then just kind of wiggle your way away from that person, or flip the tables and be like, what do you do for a living? I want to hear about your job. So I used to get that reaction a lot. And again, I don't really think that I was like, I'm a writer. I don't think I came off that way, but obviously something was different about my confidence level and my posturing and my body language and my delivery when I would answer that question, because it doesn't really happen to me anymore. I've also learned how to redirect the conversation better. If I meet someone and they start telling me something, I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. There's a lot out there in terms of tools to help a writer get their story to the public these days. You're going to have a great time. I kind of try to redirect it that way. But yeah, nowadays, largely when I tell people that I am a writer, the reaction is always, oh, wow. Oh my gosh, how cool! How fun! And it's always something really excited. Just a minute, Mischief is barking. Sorry about that. I have the most demanding little dog. She's not that little, but she's still my baby. And she woke up from her nap and decided, I want out now. She probably had to go potty. She's almost 1 year old. Can't believe how fast time has gone by. But anyway, enough about my baby Mischief. Yes, so now, and back then, you often get the reaction of, oh wow, because it is a semi-unusual profession to be in, or line of work to be in, whatever. I find myself then giving a token reaction back, because it's almost as if people are like, what do you do for a living? I'm Batman. Whoa, I didn't expect that. I'm so excited to have met Batman. And you have to be like, yeah, I know, it's pretty exciting. So I'm always like, yeah, excited, yeah, yeah, it is. Like, I don't know what the fuck they think is happening. I'm in my room with fingerless gloves on like a troll, not talking to people, barely remembering to eat, typing on my computer, like, oh, so exciting. But, I mean, I don't mean that to be rude to people, because I understand it. If I were not a writer and I was just a reader, I would be excited as well to meet an author or a screenwriter or an IP developer and all the weird stuff that I do. But at the same time, it's I don't know, it's like, it's weird to be like, yeah, I'm so excited about myself when someone else reacts that way. Like, you don't want to be rude, but you're like, yeah, it's really fun. It's also a shit ton of work. And I'm an independent, so that means I'm my own manager, agent, accountant, marketer, publicist, everything rolled into one, so it's a lot of work. But obviously I'm choosing to do it, and I wouldn't trade it, I love it. But sometimes, like, I don't know, and like most writers, I have introvert tendencies. I wouldn't say that I'm a full-blown introvert, but otherwise I don't think I'd be doing this on camera. But, it's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a barista at Starbucks. Oh my god! That's so cool! I mean, it is kind of cool. But there's just other professions where you wouldn't necessarily get that, reaction. I feel like if you're more in the film industry, people get a little bit afraid, and so they don't necessarily delve into like fan mode because they're like, oh, well, I don't know who you are or who I'm dealing with, or I better keep my cool, you know? So to continue talking about the question at hand, I have not necessarily noticed a difference in gender. As in most aspects of life, I tend to get talked down to more by men who have these brilliant ideas that they want to tell me, that they're gifting to me. That's just sort of society at large at play there, though. However, I don't know, you know, most people then will follow up with, because they don't know what else to say, well, what have you written? Is it anything that I might know? And now I'm at a position where I can say, yeah, you can go to these 2 stores and look for my stuff, or you could go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or I've got this new release coming out, or I'm really excited about this, or I've worked with this company on that, you know? So I've got more that I can bring up, and I think probably earlier on when people would be like, well, let me give you this story, it was more along the lines of, I have a book out on Kindle on Amazon. You know, it doesn't have that much street cred that I didn't have as much street cred then, I feel like, as I do now, because I've worked more now. So there isn't necessarily a difference by gender or by age. Do I prefer to tell it to other writers or other readers? I think, I don't know, I love meeting both. Equally, I think. I love to meet other readers because sometimes you'll meet someone who's like, well, tell me about your book. Oh my gosh, that sounds like something I would really enjoy. I would love to read it. And then you've just met another reader, another person who might come on and, you know, become, I hate to call them fans, but become part of the Wildling community. And I love to grow that. And you meet other writers and you're going to learn stuff. You're going to learn, well, what are you doing? How are you promoting yourself? How are you doing this? And and of course, all writers are readers to some extent. So you can still geek out about books. And I think the fact that I dabble in both industries, that I'm not just in publishing, that I'm also in IP development and screenwriting, it means I have worked for a couple. Like, if anyone's into Lord of the Rings, to be able to say that I've worked for What a Workshop and helped write a book about Lord of the Rings, all that stuff, people get really excited about that, as they should. So in a way, what I'm realizing is coming out psychologically here is I have a bit of, not bitterness, but when people give me these excited reactions, there is a little part of me that's like, can I bottle that? Can I keep that with me? Because, you know, as you saw at the start of this vlog, I was like, yeah, whatever, writing's not that cool. It's very refreshing to be given that energy from someone who admires what you do. And I might not be the most open in the moment to receive it because, like I said, I'm like at my friend's wedding or doing this or doing that. It's not, you know, I'm not networking. But, and I'm not like in the mindset of like, oh, I'm signing for fans or whatever. But it's also such a beautiful thing to have that support from complete strangers and to have them react with such respect and awe and excitement. And I do wish I could embody that more and carry it with me more so that when I am having bad days or moments where I'm like, I suck, why am I doing this? I could just remember that and have it feed me. So I think that answers the questions. And unfortunately, I'm not doing the hat thing, and I'm not doing like the cute top thing, but I am wearing a really comfortable shirt that I know I've worn before on this show, with an image of the GPO on it, that I got in Dublin in honor of the centenary of the 1916 Easter Rising last year. And I am wearing this today because it was a year ago that I was traveling around in Scotland and Ireland and having a ball and meeting amazing people. So I thought I'd wear it 2 days in a row now, because it doesn't smell yet, and it's really comfortable, and it reminds me of those places that are really fun. So, from me and my GPO shirt, and more excitingly, I thought you would like to see this. It's my name tag from the panel I was on at Comic-Con. This is the first time I've actually been credited as my pen name, K.M. Rice. For me, in my Comic Con name tag, because I don't know what else to call this, name card, whatever. Wish you all a very fond farewell. Keep the questions coming, folks.